Shame on us, because we let these people call two bodies of water surrounded by earth seas instead of what they're actually called, lakes. Let's start with Sea of Galilee. Johann Homan, 1716, Southwest Africa, around Angola. Now, I don't know if he meant to spell it this way, but this looks like Galilee. Galilee-la, or Galilee-la. Sounds much like Galilee. Bernard Paludinus, 1595. Galilee-la, or Galilee. Herod. Could be the kingdom of Herod, because he was in Galilee at the time, or he was a governor of Galilee. And then you see Agag, which is mentioned in scripture, being the king of the Amalekites, and 1st and 2nd Samuel. And Yahushua departed from thence and came nigh unto the Sea of Galilee, and went up into a mountain and sat down there. Now mind you, if we go to the other land, are we going to see mountains? Probably not. But if you look at the topography of this map, these are mountain ridges close to the Sea of Galilee. And it came to pass in those days that Yahushua came from Nazareth of Galilee and was baptized of Yehukanan in the Jordan. Samuel Lewis, 1804, around the Congo region, Nazareth. Samuel Lewis again, 1812, 8 years later, you see Nazareth River, except he didn't do the rivers like he did these locations. So could it possibly be biblical Nazareth? James Well, 1864, you remember how I showed you the Orange River, and on top of this river was the real Jerusalem in the southern tip of Namibia. And right here is the River Jordan. If you look up this book by name, it's online for free. So you can scroll through and you'll see scriptural towns, and they try to cover it up with missionaries. Just like they did the real Jordan River. They added an A to this Jordan River. And this is the explanation of this river. River rising in the Rooiberg, northeast of Clarence, and flowing north through Bethlehem. Yes, there is a Bethlehem in South Africa. The reference is to the River Jordan, which flows into the Sea of Galilee. So this is where, around Lesotho, where the River Jordan would be. And going northward up into Bethlehem, which is a little bit outside Johannesburg. So going upward, it would just continue to keep going up. Nazareth, that I showed you in the map, is around this region. The Sea of Galilee in this region. And the River Jordan runs. It keeps running west. So now in that fake land, the Sea of Galilee runs into the River Jordan. So it's a coincidence that in the Southern African Place Names Dictionary, they're saying it's a reference to that River Jordan running into the Sea of Galilee. But does this Sea of Galilee run into the Jordan? I would say yes. You see how thick this river is, and it runs all the way out to the sea. So if the Lesotho region is a little bit around here somewhere, then yes, it definitely does connect upward to the Sea of Galilee. This verse exposes the flaw of the River Jordan in that other land. And in those days, when Nimrod saw that the cities of the circle of the Jordan, had rebelled, he came with pride and anger to war with Kedorlaomer, and Nimrod assembled all his princes and subjects, about 700,000 men, and went against Kedorlaomer. And Kedorlaomer went out to meet him with 5,000 men, and they prepared for battle in the valley of Babel, which is between Elam and Shinar. I showed you the map location of Shinar, which is the Greek translation of Shinar. So we're still in Africa. And he's talking about the circle of the Jordan. So that location is wrong already. James Well, 1864 map. Jordan, Nulla means valley, for a better perspective. So Babylon is around this region. Here is Lake Victoria. So the Jordan Valley here, going straight downward. So it makes much sense for Babylon to be right here. He's going to war in this valley here. It seems a better location, scripturally. Now mind you, Lake Victoria wasn't called Lake Victoria until the 1800s. It was called what you see right here, the Ukerewe, and Nyanza, which also is a translation of lake, but they are Bantu names. So the Jordan Valley is out here, and I guarantee you it connects southward and loops around, and that's where Yahushua was baptized. And he was not baptized in that fake land, nor is his tomb in that fake land. All of that is to rile up Christians and make Christians be Zionists, and you usher in the Antichrist and be behind the Antichrist because you don't know where these real biblical locations are, and you don't compare it with Scripture because you're told not to read the Old Testament because it's done away with, where most of the Old Testament has where all the locations, facts, and accounts of where Bible actually happened, or the topography where the Bible actually happened.